Okay, so today I'm walking out to one of our new areas that we have prepped for some spring beds. It's going to take a little bit of time to build some of these beds little by little. We just covered the whole area in some wood chips that we happen to be able to get from a local tree cutting service. We did sign up for that chip drop. There's a chip drop website you can go onto probably about a year ago, but we never really heard anything. The best bet if you're ever looking for wood chips or anything like that is just to find a local company that is either cutting down trees or different things like that, and they're your best bet. We contacted somebody local here and they were more than happy to dump a lot of wood chips at our place. They usually have to take them to, I guess, like a trash dump or something like that. I don't know if they have to pay for them at that time. So if you can ever find anybody local, that's really the best thing. They were able to bring us like more than enough. We probably have 3 loads of wood chips. And wood chips is really going to help if you have a garden area that you're trying to keep some weeds down. We put it on the ground around our raised beds. We also can use it a little bit for some of the bedding that we use for our animals as well. So it's carbon, so it really helps to neutralize that smell of manure, different things like that. And again, you're reusing things. Eventually when you put that down, water and everything else is just going to decompose that over time, and it's just going to make your soil better. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what we've done recently here. So here's this little area that we have here that we have put chips in. We just took a section of our pasture field here and we cleared a lot of this out. First we had the geese on here. We've also had some chickens on here to kind of eat down the grass and bugs, different things like that. And of course they also deposit their waste, so that helps a little bit with the soil as well. And then from there we went ahead and put some wood chips over top of that. And we used to have this really big tree here. I was really sad to see that go. It's I don't know what happened to it. We've been here several years now and it just died. It's been there for about a year dead, and we finally were able to safely take that down. So we're probably going to get this chipped up eventually. But the biggest, easiest thing that I found right now, of course I know lumber prices are skyrocketing. I'm just using some of these cedar fence pickets to make my beds here. And if you've seen some of my previous videos, I'll link one up here. I managed to get some free fencing from somebody. It was like some old cedar fencing that I made some other boxes out of. I'll put that video up above. But I basically did the same thing with these, where I just took a piece of some scrap wood here on the corner and I just connected those together on all the corners. I think these are about 5 by 3 feet wide. You can really make them any size you want to. And what we've done is we have, that's my new little chicken. We have got some garden soil from just a local area, but we're also trying to do some of our own compost and different things like that, which I'll probably make a separate video of what we do for our compost. We also have horse manure, of course, but that does have to age for a certain amount of time before you're able to use that. So one of the things that I like to do for my beds is to add some of these leaves and different things like that. So some of the things that you can put in this to decrease your soil consumption, because getting soil from the big box stores or a local garden center is really expensive. So a lot of times we just use, I rake up the leaves in the fall. A lot of neighbors are trying to get rid of leaves. You can go and collect those around. Also, we have a lot of branches and different things like that fall, so we tend to put those in here just to kind of fill up the bottoms, especially if it's a bed that is very deep. This helps to, you know, add to the decomposition over time, but you're also not going to have to fill up as much soil. Just kind of check depending on what you're planting. Some of them need certain adequate, you know, amounts of inches for soil. But really I just put this kind of in the bottom of that and it helps. I also put pine shavings in here from leftover bedding from, you know, chickens or rabbits or different things like that. And then on top of that, then I'll put, you know, a good garden soil, some compost, kind of mix that in, like I've done with some of our other beds here. And I'll kind of show you some of the things that we're already growing. We have lots of different squashes that we're growing this year. Acorn squash, butternut squash, And then I already have some of these over here that are established already. I have some zucchini plants and some other things like that. So gradually we're getting some of our beds done here and there. And then in between, we've just kind of planted a lot of the wood chips here, just so that we can keep the grass from, you know, taking over the garden. Over here in this bed right here, I found a bunch of leftover bricks on the side of our house when we first moved here. So I've created a small little flower bed here for just maybe some flowers. Again, I'm trying to find all kinds of different things that I can make flower beds out of or vegetable gardens out of. I want to try to make one out of, I have so many old hoses that are just broken and leaking, and I wanted to throw them away, but I keep thinking, no, don't do that. You'll probably use them for something else. So I want to see if I can kind of create something with that. So if I can, I will definitely put a different video in here of making some type of maybe pot or something like that out of an old hose that can hold, you know, a flower plant or something like that. Also, occasionally we'll put a few little pots and different things around. I think this one's got like milkweed in it. I can't remember. I know that's good for like the monarch butterflies. We were recently given that by somebody, so that we're trying that out this year. But there's so many different things that I'm experimenting with right now, and of course if I come up with some new projects, I'll definitely let you guys know about that if you're interested in some cheap DIY ways to make a garden. Something else that I absolutely love that was kind of a little surprise is that in these big piles of wood chips, we had some of these huge little logs that they had. So I kind of got those out, and I'm using those as plant stands, just as little decorations around the area to hold up some of my other plants so that I can plant some flowers here. You want to have some flowers near your vegetable gardens and different things like that, because that definitely adds for your pollinators to come in and pollinate the fruit and the flowers, and then you'll have, you know, hopefully abundance more of you know, vegetables and things like that. But one other idea that we might try, we've had a couple of these really big logs that are a bit longer than this, and we want to kind of cut those down and see if I can try to make those out of flower beds. I've seen that before. That would be something really cool to do that we can reuse. Obviously it's not going to hold up great over time, but you know, it's something that is free, and we're trying to figure out how to make this more efficiently out of different things, either that we can reuse or you know, things that maybe we already have on hand, because, you know, again, the lumber prices are really high right now. Hopefully they'll come down eventually, but we're just trying to see. And over here, if you saw my Instagram post recently, we kind of moved some of our smaller chickens around. Usually every couple years we get some new chickens, and these right here, this fenced area is going to be one of our permanent chicken runs, and this will basically have chickens in it at all times, and they'll be in here scratching around, kind of scratching up the compost area. We will put more chips over time eventually on there, and then, you know, after a certain amount of time you should be able to dig down in here and have some nice black compost underneath. Of course it's going to take some time, but their deposits, you know, for their waste and different things are helping to contribute that, and then they're also tilling that up, so that's kind of saving us a job, that's giving the chickens a job. And then because we have that right next to our garden here, we can then take all of this compost and then put that right back on our garden. If we're coming here and we can weed, we can take the weeds out and we can feed those to the chickens, because the chickens like all those different types of greens. So it really helps to kind of minimize any kind of you know, walking from one farther place to the other. We've learned a lot from different people online, like Justin Rhodes, Sow the Land. There's just so many other people, homesteaders out there, that we've really been following and learning a lot from the past several years. And so we're starting to set up our systems, and they're starting to work really well. in-ground garden that we have in the front of the house. I have previous videos of us planting in this garden. We tend to get this ready every year. This year we're doing some carrots, we've got some different types of green beans, we're doing some watermelons, some pie pumpkins, okra. I think I've also planted a few other types of herbs. And then off to the side we have a very, very large tomato section where I'm doing a lot of San Marzano tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, just some different varieties, some I haven't tried before. The San Marzanos I heard were really, really good for doing tomato sauces, and I'm really liking those so far this year. I've had a ton of ones already growing since I've planted these. I've started them indoors from seed, and so I'm really excited to kind of show that. Maybe I'll do a future video of doing some canning. That's something that I'm really wanting to get into this year as well. If you can, comment down below and let me know what your favorite way is to can, or what you tend to use for your favorite pressure canner. But definitely we are growing lots of food this year, lots of different varieties that we're excited about, and I'll definitely be bringing you guys along when we're doing some more harvesting of that, maybe trying to do some different type of recipes and show you guys that as well. These are my ones that are super sweet. Yeah, I see. I just like to get pets. Like to be held and like to be petted just like a puppy dog, huh? Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video of our new garden tours and some of our old gardens. I will be doing a video for next farm vlog of how we do our composting and how we set that up. So if you guys are interested in that, don't forget to stay tuned for those videos, and we'll see you guys again next time.